Hello, guys. My name is Samuel. Welcome to Spots of My Mind. For those who don't know me, I think the best way to explain myself is I always call myself a sports enthusiast. I live and breathe this. The best way to introduce myself would be my background is I have a master's in sports management. Pretty much been creating content about sports for a long time. For those who are new to my space, so if you know me, you obviously know I create content about sports. This is my first video on this YouTube channel for a year, and a year ago, Sports of My Mind didn't exist. I've been creating about short take episodes for a couple months now on my Instagram and my TikTok and my X account, where I just have short takes about things that are bubbling in my mind, thoughts I have, opinions I have, analysis I have. And I always talk about it on those platforms. But short takes are cool and all, but I always feel I have more to say about what I want to talk about. So I want to create a long format where like 5 to 10, 15 minutes talking about whatever topics on my mind. Then obviously I'm still going to have my short take excerpts from my YouTube I create and all. Yeah, so that's what I'm creating this for. This is apparently like episode 13 of Spots of My Mind. They just existed on a different form of my socials and all, not on my YouTube. So yeah, so this is my first long form video. And today we are talking about Jose Mourinho's return to Real Madrid. Personally, I think this is why you should never be married to your ideas of how you feel about a certain situation. And sometimes maybe take your time to think about this. Think about things, right? When the news about Jose going back to Real Madrid came on, I was like, what are Real Madrid thinking? Why does this make sense? Jose, in that particular sense, as a manager, in terms of a high level time manager, is kind of washed. He's definitely not the coach we knew 10, 15 years ago. That's just the reality of things. So I was like, why would Real Madrid want this? And as time went on, it made sense to me. The news cycles that have happened in Madrid this past year or season with Xabi Alonso, with Vini, with the locker room issues, Valverde, Chouameni, Mbappe, and now the news with Florentino Perez, where for the first time ever in my lifetime, his presidency and positioning within the club is in jeopardy, and a lot is going on around Real Madrid, as we all know. I've not even watched a lot of Real Madrid games this year, just not had the time. But if you follow the sport, you kind of know that a lot is going on there. And if there's one personality, one man that can be a shield for that, a guy who, for me, has the biggest main character syndrome in football history, it's Jose Mourinho. It's him. Perez is looking for someone to shield him. He's looking for someone to be bigger than the program. The egos in the locker room, use personalities. And honestly, Mourinho has dealt with a set of Galacticos that were much big time players than this set of players. In my opinion, the drama has even been kind of irritating in a way, because I'm like, you guys don't have that amount of huge egos in this locker room or personalities in this locker room that should even be warranting this amount of scrutiny, news cycle, news, drama, whatever you want to call it. And if there's one guy that can curb that, just because he is bigger than the program, it's Jose. And that's why my mind totally flipped on the appointment. It's not happened yet. I think it's in the works and all, but I see why they would even think about that. I see why they would even think like, let's get Jose back. As we know, the last 10 years has been uneven in terms of he's really not really had a lot of highs, a little bit of success, Roma, but there's been a lot of lows with Jose. And one of the lows was just weeks ago when Benfica played Real Madrid, as we know, the racist incident that happened with Vini, and Jose justifying abuse and racial abuse on Vini because Vini was celebrating too much and he can't claim to be a victim, which disappointed a lot of people, especially me. Because one thing Jose has been a sore loser. We've known this for forever. He's a sore loser. And for me, what was disappointing was in a racial kind of sense where you couldn't curb you being a sore loser to defend racial abuse or racism. And that tells me a lot about you and all. But again, back to the appointment. Perez is looking for someone that can absolutely quell the egos, be bigger than the program, and completely just, hey, everyone, focus on me. It's me. I'm the guy, because that's who Jose is. So Mbappe, Vini, all these guys, there's going to be less attention and eyes on them because Jose is going to do that. It doesn't really mean it's going to work out on the field. I don't know how that's going to play out. Madrid has had 2 back-to-back trophyless seasons, so maybe anything is better than nothing, right? But that's what I'm thinking is literally the makeup of this decision, right? And Zach Lowe would mention this in his article, which I'm going to share. This is one of the best parts of how I was viewing this and why my mind completely flipped about this weeks ago. And Zach Lowe in his article, sorry, not Zach Lowe. I keep saying Zach Lowe. Sid Lowe, sorry. Zach Lowe is the basketball guy. Sid Lowe is the soccer guy. And these two people are one of my favorite analysts in the sports and all. And he posted this yesterday. And he said, so this was the last paragraph where he said, crisis calls, and the worse the leaks got, the more public Madrid's troubles, the better Mourinho's credentials looked. The easier to justify a return 13 not entirely successful years later. Desperate time calls for desperate measures, something different. The bigger the problem, the bigger the personality needed, someone with the authority to address the egos and take on internal and external enemies with which Perez is preoccupied. And this is exactly how I see it. Florentino Perez is preoccupied with more than I would even expect with this current set of players. If you get what I mean, like, it's actually very strange to me. Like, it's actually been surprising that this amount of drama has been happening with them, because they've had Cristiano Ronaldo in that locker room. They have Benzema. They've had Ramos. They've had Iker Casillas. They've had Kaká. They've had so many. And Mourinho dealt with that. And Mourinho was still above that program. And I feel he's going to be above this program again. Like I said, I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know how it's going to work on the field. I don't know how, this is going to work on the field. I don't think there's going to be much anything different success-wise. But Jose might be obviously motivated to obviously get another big-time job. So we're going to see how he shows up. But I think this is more a shield. This is more like a signing made to shield the club, because this guy is a main character. This guy is explosive, and he will be able to take off the noise and all. But yeah, that's it for how I think about this appointment and all. We're going to see how it plays out and all, but I'm actually very interested and fascinated at how this is going to play out. Say, being in a big time club, while we might not rate how he coaches and stuff, and if he's a good coach or not anymore, the fact of the matter is it's always drama filled. It's always exciting. You know, he's going to have some sort of quote in his first press conference. You know, he's going to have something to say about Mbappe, Vini, and all this type of situations surrounding the club. And sometimes that's all people are looking for. You know, that's entertaining for some people. I'm all about the drama in soccer. As much as I love the sports and everything, play wise, I love the drama too. I'm kind of glad he's back if he comes back. We don't know yet. But yeah, that's it for episode 13 or 14. Correct me. I'm going to correct myself. But it's one of those of spots off my mind. For anyone new to the channel, please like, subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram. Follow me on my X. Follow me on TikTok. I'm going to be doing this constantly. I'm posting more long form versions of this. And yeah, have a great one. Love. Peace.